celebration times and also a time to call to action. And I'm just really excited about that. Things are tough, right? We're all aware of the news. We're all aware of how every single day we're wondering which way is up and what tomorrow's going to bring. And while we don't have a lot of control over those headlines and we don't have a control over the decisions made outside of Grand Rapids, we have 100% control over this project and its success. And we, did a lot of thinking at the board on whether we go ahead with this campaign in the times that we're at, and we decided that absolutely we need to do this. We have control over this. We have been working on this for 9 years, and we've been through some challenging times. We made it through COVID. When the world shut down, we kept going, we just shifted. We shifted from doing a lot of forward-facing, public-facing events to working a lot of policies. And in a lot of ways, we're ahead of a lot of co-ops across the country who are at a similar phase than us because of that shift. And that's something this board has always adapted to, is when things change, we change with it. And so I'm just really excited about this moment and the challenge ahead of us. I believe we're at 1,232 owners right now, which is phenomenal for a city of just over 10,000 people, right? That represents I meet with a peer group of co-ops across the country every month, and it's always really exciting to be able to say we have that many owners because a lot of them are at 600, 800 owners. And we can say we have a 100-page policy handbook that a lot of them are just getting started, and that's a lot of that work we did during COVID. So we're in really good shape. We're in a really good position. Our offering documents are ready to go for the preferred shares, and we're just 100% ready to launch this. And so the goal is $1.1 million because we are already $400,000 of the way there to the $1.5 million we need to raise from our ownership. We did that silent phase in the fall, and then our season of giving campaign, and between donations and commitments from people, we're at $400,000 already. So it's a big amount. I don't have that in my wallet to give myself. Otherwise, we could just skip tonight. But I don't. So it's going to take all of us. And if you do the math with 1,232 owners, if everyone just bought that ownership again, we're there. Right? It could be that easy, but we know people can't always give that. Some people give 20, some people can't give anything, but they can give time. And that's something that people like our board of directors give, is a lot of time to this. And like I said, I've given 6 years. Garrett and Tom are, I believe, 5, 6 years-ish too as well on the board. Other people are at 3, 4 years, and just giving, right? And that's what we do, and that's what this community does. And that's what we're asking everyone here tonight to consider doing, is giving what you can. We need an army of callers because there's going to be a lot of owners to call and ask for commitments. We're going to need people who can financially contribute to this project to do so as well. And together we will get this done. And the one thing I think about is just we have complete control over how this turns out. We have complete control over supporting our farmers and our producers, some of who are here tonight, to be able to have access to those local foods, those regional foods, those products. And not have to worry about things like tariffs on food from Brindlewood or Wilden, right? Like, we don't have to think about that. It'll come down the road and be available. And I'll just, full disclosure, if things do get crazy expensive because the tariffs bring up the structural steel by 25%, and we look at this project and say, wow, it's going through the roof, we'll pause. Right? We will not invest your money in a project that is not going to be successful and not going to get there. We just met with our pro forma expert a couple of days ago to look at our numbers again and to say, how are we doing? How are things looking? And right now it's still a green light. Things are still looking good. And if we have to modify the design of the store to make it more affordable, we will do that. The goal is to have a successful store that can stay open for the long term. And that may mean that some things have to change how it looks or what the feel on the inside is. But we're going to have this food co-op open, and we're going to have an ability to go in and feed our families healthy food, local regional food, have a lot more choice and control over what we're consuming here. So all those things are really exciting to me, and I'm just so excited to see this room packed full of people, right? Like, we couldn't do this even 3 years ago. We have our annual meetings. We get 20, 30 people that would come. And it's kind of hard as a board to keep going when you feel like there's not that groundswell of support, and people have shown up. And I think that's also in part because of the progress we're making, that people are seeing this is real, right? We have visuals of this. We have the departments laid out on that back core form at the back there. You can see what is going to be in the store, where it's going to be, everything like that. We just had a meeting on Thursday and modified a couple little things, right, to just make it the best store it could possibly be. And so it's exciting work, it's fun work, it's hard work, but we're here for it, right? I say this too many times probably, but when Lois and I were voluntold to get on the board, we said, yeah, we'll do this for a year, right? And I went home and said, hey, you know, is it okay if I do this for a year? Like, I have the skills to help this like get going again, because they were kind of stalled out. And she goes, yeah, right, a year? She goes, what have you ever done, you know, just for a little bit? Turns out she knew me better than I knew myself, because here I am, year 6. Even right now, my job has been eliminated, and we're going to be moving to Canada actually this summer. So my term as board chair will end at the end of this month, and Tom's going to take over as our new chair. But I'm not quitting the board. I'm still going to stay on the board because we do a lot of things by Zoom. I'm going to stay on site development because I've been on that part of this journey the whole time that I've been involved, and I don't want to let it go. I want to see it through. And so because every week those meetings are on Zoom, there's no reason I can't do that from Timbuktu or New Zealand if I feel anywhere in the Northern Hemisphere is not safe. And so home is Thunder Bay for me, and so that's where I was born and raised. I've been here for the last 10 years, and it has been an amazing experience. I'm going to miss Grand Rapids immensely. Our family's going to miss it. Our kids are going to miss it. But I'll be there the day that these doors open. I'm really looking forward to that. And I will be here as much as I can, no matter where I'm from, to make sure this gets open. So I hope all of you are willing to do the same in whatever way that you can too, to see this through and get these doors open. And we made a promise to Lois, who's going to talk in a few minutes, about getting this store open. So we need to make that happen. If it's for no one else other than her. I'm going to do it for her. Lois is a pretty special person. So I'll leave it at that. I'll have Molly McGregor come up and say a few words on behalf of the City of Grand Rapids and keep going here. So thank you, and happy to talk with anyone at any point tonight. So thank you for being here.
When I first moved back to Grand Rapids in 2017, the second thing I did after buying a house was I joined the new co-op. I'm a member of the Mississippi Market in St. Paul, of the Whole Foods in Duluth, so I joined the Free Range Food Co-op, and somebody said, you know, they're not going to open for a while, and I went, it's okay. So it's a little longer than I thought it was going to be. I didn't expect that there'd be a global pandemic either. So I am very pleased now also to be on the City Council, and I was able, as part of the City Council, to serve on the Grand Rapids Economic Development Authority. So Rob Bataille, who's our leader, is back there in the cap, will not speak, but he will answer any questions you have. But the city is very much committed to this project, to this food co-op, to it being part of our downtown footprint. We have a new downtown plan, and hopefully we'll have a council that will be working on downtown issues. We also have a big project going on where we're trying to improve the Highway 2 and 169 area, so I think that's really important, and the co-op will be a big part of that. When I first lived in Grand Rapids, I shopped at Kramer's. For most people, it's probably just a parking lot at this point, but it's really going to be a real addition to have something positive there, a place for people to go to lunch, a place for visitors to stop. I'm very excited about it. I'm also really thrilled to see this room full of people, because I think that's almost the best part. Grand Rapids is a place that builds community. We have some really great resources here. The food co-op is the best. And so now I get to introduce Peter.
Why I'm here is actually, I was their third choice. Yeah, well, what are you gonna do?
Third and speaking order.
Oh, no, that too. No, third choice, actually, I'm actually here to represent the Grand Rapids Area Community Foundation is why they asked me. That's after our executive director had to go to a bachelorette party. The chair was going, I don't know, maybe she's out of town somewhere, and I was back in town about an hour and a half.
Third choice.
So third choice. So but first I'll say why I'm here, and besides doing that, how Charlotte and I became members of the, and we're probably one of the newest members. Probably we were probably 1112 or something. I can't remember our number, but late. But it basically because we were asked by friends. You know, Becky twisted my arm every day when I went to the golf course and said, "Peter, you should do something worthwhile rather than just playing golf." And Mark Hawkinson, Carol, and Susan, the Hawkinson family have been family since we moved to town about 42 years ago. What came to mind, by the way, is when I came to town, I was working at the paper mill. And Harold Ziegman, who was the president at the time, said, "Peter, young finance guy, he said, you should go work help with this development of a greenhouse out in Cohasset." I said, "A greenhouse in Cohasset? What is that going to be? A greenhouse in northern Minnesota?" "Well, yeah, it's going to use heat from the power plant." And that 42 years ago, it's still going and it produced millions and millions of trees. So what you guys are involved in today is sort of the front end of that, except it's something that's really worthwhile as far as locally produced food to the community and locally produced and supporting businesses in the community, which is my passion with this job development. And so I think that's great. And as Molly said, the development of that empty lot is going to be huge for downtown. I mean, now we're getting a few bars and a few restaurants. Well, we could also use a nice locally produced food downtown, so I think it's fantastic that way. So now, for my official reason for being here, is that the Grand Rapids Area Community Foundation is proud to partner with this dedicated group of individuals working to establish a community-owned, free-range food co-op. The foundation was approached by a group about a year ago to establish and funded the foundation to support development of the mission-driven food co-op that will work to enhance the lives of people living in Grand Rapids and the surrounding area. As a community foundation, we're here to actually, partnerships like this are at the heart of what we do. Bringing people together, leveraging resources, and helping as best we can to move projects and initiatives forward. Our mission is striving to build a stronger community by mobilizing the generosity around the needs of the people of the greater Itasca area. The initiative aligns perfectly with our purpose, and we're proud to support the project that reflects the community vision and brings people together to create a lasting impact. As I looked at the campaign slogan, I thought it perfectly aligned with investing today, growing tomorrow, and together. Thank you.
Thanks, Peter. Hi, everybody. Well, I want to echo what Brendan said and welcoming you all here. Thank you so much for being with us here today. We couldn't do it without you. And Molly and Peter, thank you for being here on behalf of the City of Grand Rapids and the Grand Rapids Area Community Foundation. We certainly wouldn't be here without you guys either. So big kudos to all of you. I'm curious, has anybody received in the mail yet a packet that looks like this? Oh, good. It's getting out and about. Earlier this week, there were a group of admin volunteers who were in this very space, and they hand addressed over 1,200 letters that went out, mostly on Thursday and on Friday too. So I just want to give a huge shout out to the admin team, Cindy Yackel, Tiffany Gesme, Cam Childs, Michelle Brunner, Ann Hauser, and Connie Daigle for donating their time and their excellent penmanship on this big mailing projects. And then I know a lot of you in the room have made donations before, and you should have all received a handwritten thank you note as well. That comes out of this group. So I'd like to give them a round of applause. I also want to thank the Community Investment Campaign team. This is a small and dedicated group of women who have been meeting together for, over a year, and I couldn't ask for a better team to work with. I love them, each and every one of them, and appreciate them for the gifts and talents that they have been bringing day after day, week after week to this food co-op project. So I'd like to give a shout out to Lydia.
Hello.
There you are. Ellen's smiling. She's back there. Mary Rudy is on our team, and Mary could not be with us today, and Lois Bendix is on the team. We also have a consultant. Her name is Katie Novak, and she is in Texas, so she's not with us here today, but she sure sends our greetings for a great, I can't remember exactly, she said some really nice words to us earlier today. So I want to thank everybody for their hard work on all of that. So, it was Lois who asked me to get involved with this work. I'm owner number 85, and I gave him $100 and was still working and walked away and said, go build a co-op, right? And then when I retired, Lois, I think it was like the day after I retired, Lois got on the phone and she says, I'd like to meet with you about the food co-op. And I said, I need a year. So almost a year to the day, Lois called me up and she was like, I want to talk to you about the food co-op. So we went for coffee and she asked me to join the campaign. And I said, yes, I do practically anything for Lois. Maybe even bury a body, I'm not sure. And so I said yes, and that was in the kind of the summer of 2023. Well, in the fall of 2023, I was diagnosed with the recurrence of breast cancer. And so I had to go through that and then kept going to meetings, but I was snowshoeing actually out in the woods. And I was listening to this book that was called Radical Remission. And it talked about how we need to have goals outside of ourselves to be healthy, to get healthy. And so I was out in the woods and I was thinking, gosh, I don't have a goal outside of myself, because when you're diagnosed with cancer, you can get pretty self-absorbed about that. And so I was thinking about what my goal could be, and it was out in the woods that I decided that I was going to put everything that I really had into opening the doors of this co-op, because I want to walk through those doors when they open up. And so I set my intention for just doing what I could to make this project go. And so that's what I've been doing for the last little while now, couple of years. So this brings me back to Lois. So a few weeks ago, Lois shared with us that she too was on her journey being diagnosed with cancer. And as those of you in the room who've walked this road before, you know that this is an individual journey, and you have to make decisions. And Lois has decided not to seek treatment for hers. And so we've been, as a board and as all of our volunteers and the admin team, we've been kind of coming to terms with Lois's decision. Of course, we support her 100% in what she's doing. And when we talked about what we could do to support her, one of the things we wanted to do is we wanted to acknowledge and honor her contributions while she's still here with us, right? And so we invited her, and she was accepted from us to be our honorary chairperson of this community investment campaign. So I want to go ahead and turn it over to Lois now. She's going to say a few words as our, what number owner are you? You don't remember? Okay, that wasn't scripted at all. But I'm going to hand it over to her as our official honorary campaign chair. So I'll give it to you, Lois Bendix.
Thank you. He asked the lady whose voice is going to make a speech. So if you can't hear me, let me know when I've got somebody else lined up to read it. But I grew up on Fall Lake, right outside of Ely. And in fact, in the summer, I worked at a resort on Basswood Lake, which is now part of the FRFC. So I've always called myself a Northwoods Lake girl. And that's always been high on my priority. My dad was a conservationist, so of course I have to be one too. I moved to Wilmer in the early 1970s. to work at a poultry and livestock supply place. What a shock. They sold fertilizer by the ton, and of course the nitrates go into the soil and the water. The other thing they sold by the ton was pesticides and herbicides. And when if they couldn't do it well enough by machine, they went up in the air so they could all enjoy the chemicals. So after 3 years of that, I came back home. But that ignited my passion against hard farming practices. And I too paid my $100, and no way was I going to get involved in another project in the community. In 2019, two of us responded, Brandon and I, to a plea for more board members. They probably took us because we were the only two that showed up. So, but as a mother and a grandmother, and even a great-grandmother, I really felt the passion to get this food co-op going. I felt I just had to step up. The board and the founders had all worked hard. And I wanted to get healthy food and grown right here in our area as much as possible and have it be available in our community. You applauded me at the beginning. You may not like what I have to say now. I noticed that we have a real need. The board has done their work. We've got the site, we've got the campaign ready to go. What we need are people who can call other owners and other people to follow up with the paperwork and get the money. And I don't think personally that we have enough at this time. And I look around here and I said to myself, if half the people in this room would step up, we could get it done, and maybe even before the end of July. It's not easy to make those commitments, and I understand that. One of the things about volunteering is you meet wonderful people, and some of them become very dear friends. That's how I met Becky. So I recruited her, but she somehow recruited me long before that. So right away the board and my team said, what can we do to support you? What you can do to support me is get this store built. Every dollar that we raise, every volunteer hour is so important. And this is our opportunity. It's been a long haul. Let's get it done. It's my charge to all of you. I won't be here to see the store. But if I live long enough for this campaign to wind up, and I get the word we did it, I'm pretty happy. I must tell you the best thing I ever did for Free Range Food Co-op was to recruit Becky. She was going to be the silent phase, and then we just came up with the campaign of giving, and then she got saddled with the whole campaign. So when we needed her, she stepped up. I hope you will too. Thanks.
In the script that she gave me. So I want to thank everybody again for coming. And if you haven't yet, there's a back table over here where you can make a button and pick up information about how to pledge. We have pledge cards right there with envelopes, and you can go ahead and put your information on that, and one of our owners, callers will be in contact with you about that. And we also have what is called our offering document. It's a pretty heavy little document, but it has all of the information about preferred shares. And then there's a sheet there that if you do take one of those, that we ask you to sign that sheet for us, because that is a legal document and it is confidential to the food co-op. So there's that over there. If you haven't already, there are plans that Willin brought with us. They're out on the table out there, and go ahead and please do take that as a gift. And then I think, Lydia, are you gonna start giving away some prizes?
We can, yeah.
Okay, why don't you just quit recording